Welcome. Take a moment to lengthen the spine, lightly zip up the abdominals and relax the upper body. Then let's roll down, letting the head and arms hang, and then restack. The legs can be straight or bent. Remember to go forward a little bit as you go down to leave space for the lower back to round. One more, stretching the back of the body. And then let's set up for today's workout. Let's put the foot bar down all the way and have one blue spring only. Then let's come onto a hands and knees position. Hands on the platform, knees pretty close to the front. And then we're going to start with cat stretch. We're going to round the spine and then sit back into child's pose and then come forward. Round and sit back. Come forward and straighten out. When you sit back, we're pressing away from the platform, creating some space for our child's pose and a little bit of shoulder stretch. You can have your legs in any position that suits you, knees together or apart, toes tucked under or lengthened, mobilizing the lower back. We might also feel some stretch in our knees, ankles, and hips. One more. And then we're going to set up for a regular hands and knees position. Knees close to the front of the carriage, carriage slightly pressed away, nice straight back. Then we hover the knees and then place them down. Lift and lower, lift and lower. The main focus is that lower abdominal connection to keep the lower back nice and straight. It's in the same category as plank. Let's add on lift, press, bend, lower. Lift, press, bend, lower. So we press to plank, bend in, and then place the knees down. So as you press away, the abdominal work increases. It's harder to keep your zip up, to keep the lower back nice and straight. Try not to let the bum drop down as you press away. It's probably a little bit shaky. This is level 2. Level 3, we don't put the knees down at all and we do 10 presses. Out and in, out and in. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Neck in line with spine. Breathe, embrace the shake. It's always going to be there in plank. 2 to go. Last one. And place the knees down. Move your hands to the edge of the platform for extended child's pose. We'll come forward and then press back, keeping the hips nice and high. So when we come forward, it's just like regular hands and knees position. When we press back, we drop the chest down, stretch through the shoulders in that back bending shape as much as we can. Imagine relaxing down towards the floor through the springs. Arms stay straight. Let the shoulders lift up towards your ears. Inhale as the chest goes down and let the abdominals go. Last one. And then let's carefully turn to the side with one knee on the carriage, one knee on the platform, and come up to a vertical position. Open and close, working and stretching inner thighs. Now the knee on the carriage, the further away it is or the closer to the shoulder rest, the more work you'll do with your inner thighs. It makes the springs lighter, so less assistance to pull it in, and also notice when you move it further away, the legs don't quite come all the way together, which increases the work also. Tailbone is lengthening, lower abdominals are lightly zipping up. Look straight ahead. Inhale as you open, exhale, close. And even think, let pelvic floor and abdominals go a little bit on the inhale and then reconnect them on the exhale, drawing up and in. Last one. And then let's carefully move across so we're right up against the shoulder rest for our kneeling shoulder work. Grab the handle and put it in your opposite hand, ready for draw a sword. Elbow leads up and out, in and down, up and out, in and down. Palm faces forward at the end of the movement. We aim a little bit higher than shoulder height, and we're looking for a nice smooth movement. If we do a good job of just getting vertical posture, lightly zipping up, we should have the right shoulder work happening on that draw a sword arm. Last one. And then change hands, shoulder press, straight up to the ceiling and then back down. The arm is going straight up to vertical, but because of the angle of the rope, it does feel like it has that little bit of a lean, almost like your bicep touches the side of your head as you press up, and we do get a little bit of a lengthening through that side of the waist. One more. Then we change hands, ready for tricep press. We need to move away from the shoulder rest, lean on the shoulder rest, big side bend, straighten and bend the arm, keeping the elbow pointing up to the ceiling. So trying not to move our upper arm at all. That means the rope might get close to your head, maybe, but it shouldn't really feel like it's getting in the way. If it is, that upper arm is not quite vertical. One more. And then pop the handle down. But let's stay in that side position and just reach the arm up and over for a big side stretch, leaning on the shoulder rest, pressing through the hip. And then let's do that again, starting with our inner thigh work. So one knee on the platform, one knee on the carriage. Find your vertical, open and close. Make sure you move back enough so your feet can comfortably hang off the back of the reformer. Remember, the further away you move that knee on the carriage, so the closer to the shoulder rest, the more work you'll do. We want to go far enough that we get a decent stretch, but still have enough strength to bring it in. We don't expect it to ever go all the way out and create a splits position here. Because of the leg position, our legs are kind of in parallel, so you might notice some sensation in your glutes as well. Maybe it feels like a bit of work, maybe it feels like a bit of stretch. Normally when we would open and close, we would have our legs in a turned out position, so it is a little bit different. Two more. Last one. And then let's carefully move across right up against the shoulder rest for our upper body work. Grab the handle in the opposite hand, draw a sword, up and out, in and down. Find that nice smooth rhythm. Elbow leads the way. Once you've got that, crown lengthening, looking straight ahead, see if you can feel your shoulder blade moving around on your upper back. And imagine using more of the upper back muscles. They probably already are, but just creating that awareness. Last one. And then change hands, shoulder press, straight up to the ceiling and down. Again, we try and make it as smooth as we can, straight up to the ceiling or next to your head. In any arm movement overhead, the shoulder joint needs to lift up and the shoulder blade actually rotates out towards the armpit. You can actually see that movement here, or maybe you can feel it. Last one. And then let's change hands, move away from the shoulder rest a little bit, create that big side bend shape, press and bend, keeping the elbow pointing to the ceiling or the upper arm as vertical as possible. Any position with the wrist that works for you. It is a challenging position to get into, really effective tricep exercise, but requires a bit of flexibility. One more. And then pop the handle down, stay in that position and reach the arm over for a big side stretch. Press through the hip, lean on the shoulder rest. And then let's come into a hands and knees position facing the ropes. Have your knees close to but not touching the shoulder rest so we can lean our thighs forward on a slight diagonal. Now round the spine and then pull the carriage forward. Pull the carriage forward using your abdominals, a little bit like a reverse curl, upside down. Your head and shoulders should stay still in space. Of course, our upper body is working, our hip flexors are working, but focus on lower abs, helping you to pull that carriage forward. One more. And then let's come up into a kneeling position so our thighs are up against the shoulder rest. Carefully grab the handles, ready for drawing back. Straight arms, press back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, then reach forward. Press and release. Upper back is the focus. You can adjust the tension holding the ropes wherever you need to. Keep in mind we don't want it super heavy. We want a nice glide together with the shoulder blades. And we also need to keep our balance, keep that length through the spine. And in some ways that can improve the work. The risk of losing our balance forces us to pay a little bit more attention to that posture in the center. Stretching the chest as you squeeze the upper back. Try and be as relaxed as you can, not just tensing for no reason. 2 to go. Last one. And then put the handles back down, hands on the rails, setting up for our plank pull. So walk the hands forward, tuck the toes, find a plank position. Now pull the carriage forward as you bend the legs, a little bit like the one we did on our knees before. This one is much harder. You do need a bit of oomph to pull forward. It looks smooth from the outside, but you definitely need to feel that little bit extra. Last one, and the knees down. Now let's lie on our back for arms in straps. Make sure you've got your pillow. Give yourself a little bit of space away from the shoulder rests. Grab your handles, probably the small ones because we've got the blue spring on. And then we're going to take one arm up to vertical and then one arm out to the side. So one of each. Then bring your legs into tabletop. Press both hands to the hips and then open back up the same way. So we press both hands to our side body, then open up into that L position. Now we're going to add a toe tap with the side that has the vertical arm. So it doesn't matter which side you're doing, whichever arm is going up to vertical, that's the leg you want to tap onto the platform. Trying to keep the same angle at the knee so the thigh moves away from you, and it should have increased that lower abdominal connection. Keeping that same pattern, level 3 is we're going to add an oblique curl. So we press, tap and curl, twist towards the tabletop leg. So now instead of that vertical arm going down by your side, it's going on the inside of the legs, into the middle. So we're twisting to one side, tapping the opposite foot to the platform. It's a lot of words, I know, but it should have a pretty natural feel to it, like half a crisscross. On the next one, let's hold it. Now we're going to swap the legs and the twist, side to side. Twist, twist, tap, tap. Really try and get one shoulder blade right up off the carriage. Last one. And then rest. Keep your handles, just take a few breaths, get rid of some tension, reconnect. And then let's reset our arms to the other side. So one arm up to vertical, one arm out, legs into tabletop. Press both arms to your hips and then back to their starting position. So the same arm goes up and the same arm goes out for the whole set. Level 2, we add our tap with one leg, and it's the leg on the vertical arm side. So whatever arm is going straight up to the ceiling, that's the leg that taps down. At the moment, still lower abdominals, light connection. Make sure you're not overdoing. Now this is level 2. Level 3 is we add our oblique curl. So we curl and twist towards our tabletop leg, then return. So we've got our curl, our twist, and that vertical arm now goes in between the legs. Remember, we still have to curl forward and round, then twist. So ribs in at the front. One hand reaching either side of that tabletop leg. On the next one, curl, twist, and hold it. Let's swap. 10, 9, 8, 7. Twist through the waist, not just move the arms. Good. 2, 1, and rest. Let's put the handles down, and we're setting up for pelvic curl with our feet on the platform. Press away a little bit, and now let's roll the hips up and then roll back down. You can have your feet wherever they're comfortable on the platform. Hip width parallel is normally what we aim for. That little bit of press away from the platform to give you space, and it will depend on your leg length. So play around till you find the right position. Once you've got it, try and keep the carriage pretty still. At the moment, focusing on the roll through the spine, the spinal mobility, but we've definitely got the legs working already. One more pelvic curl, so one more rolling one. Now instead of rolling, let's just lift and lower, up and down, up and down. We still press the pubic bone to the ceiling, but less rolling, more just focusing on squeezing the glutes, keeping the knees parallel, hold it up and pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then relax it down. Twisting stretch. One leg crossed on top, twist to the side, keeping both shoulders down. And then do the other side. Leg on top, twist to the side. If you have the legs tightly crossed, you'll get a little bit more glute stretch. Relax the abdominals, breathe. Relax your upper body. The hard work is important too, but so is relaxing when the hard work is finished. And then let's come back to the center. Grab our handles and let's come up to a seated position facing the foot bar, getting ready for teaser. Let's use the small handles because we've got a blue spring. Close to the front, roll back halfway, legs in tabletop. Level 1, we just move the arms backwards and forwards, maintaining half teaser. Level 2, lie down and extend, and then knees to chest. Arms back, arms forward, all the way to the shoulder rest if we can, and really pull those knees in towards your chest as much as you can. Aiming for 10. The springs are a little bit lighter than we normally do. Some of you will find that easier, some of you will find that harder. 2. Last one. And then feet down and handles down. And then let's come up onto a kneeling position facing the foot bar. Always be careful, kneeling on a blue spring. Let's step one foot forward onto the platform and lunge for a hip flexor stretch. Let's also interlock the fingers, squeeze the shoulder blades together to stretch the chest, and just allow the back to extend or back bend a little bit. But look straight ahead, a little bit of chin in, crown lengthens to the ceiling. And then let's change sides. Carefully step the other foot forward, press away, lunge into that hip flexor stretch, and then squeeze shoulder blades together, interlocking the fingers. Let the abdominals go. Unless you feel it in your lower back, really just try and soften into this one. Let the hips hang down as much as you can. And then bring the carriage forward and let's set up for swan. Take the knees wide and back so we can lower our hips and a bit of our belly onto the carriage. Hands on the edge of the platform. We inhale, come forward into a back bend, and then exhale, press away. Think of the chest lifting forward and up. And everybody's different. You can do straight arms, bent arms. Your hips can stay on the carriage or lift up. And even your body position. The further forward you are on the carriage, the bigger the back bend will be. You'd like to feel like at the top of that back bend, you can really press down through your hands and up through the chest, that little bit of opposition. Inhale as you come forward, exhale as you press away. It's tricky with back bending. You still need to use your muscles and strength, but you've got to relax a little bit too. Last one. And then let's stretch back into child's pose, just to lengthen the back of the body. Take a few breaths here. Remember, the little stretching bits are just as important as the strength bits. And then let's stand and finish with our roll downs. Find your vertical without too much tension. And then let's roll down, let the head and arms hang, and then restack, feeling strength but also space in the body. We have to use our muscles, but we have to make sure we're not just tensing all of them all the time. Otherwise, we're fighting against ourselves. Last one. See you next time.